This is Screendivers, and in this week's episode we are talking about action flick classic Face Off. Came out in 1997, directed by John Woo, produced by Touchstone Pictures and Michael Douglas as one of the producers, distributed by Paramount, starring John Travolta, Nicholas Cage, John Allen, Gina Gershon, Alessandro Nivola, John Cassavetes, and a lot of other character actors. This movie has a running time of 139 minutes, possibly shorter than this episode will be. And it was made for a budget of $80 million, and it made $245 million. So it was a critical success. How are you guys?
I'm really good. I really enjoyed sitting down watching this movie with you. We laughed a lot.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Ricky?
Yeah.
I am on the back end of a very busy week, as it was my son's birthday this week. So, been very busy.
Happy birthday, Ashvia.
Happy birthday.
Our resident Batman expert.
Yes. Yes. One of, right? Okay, I'm going to have to sit down with Ashvia and have a chat to him about a couple of things. Okay, Uncle Umba has a couple of things to say, but I don't know why I'm turning into Arnie now. It's like, come over, little Ash, we're going to talk about Batman. You look a little bit agitated. Chill. Okay.
I tell you what's funny. We recently watched an animated series one, and he had so many questions about Mr. Freeze. It's like the first episode in series one with Mr. Freeze, and he was just sort of like, so, is he bad?
Well,
he might.
They all have their reasons, man. Besides the Joker, they all have their reasons.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah, and that's the point. That's why. Anyway.
So we picked this little movie, man. Last week we did Eraser. A year later, this comes out. It makes the same amount of money, so I'm pretty sure that the people in theaters were the same crowd that went to see Eraser. I
suspect so. And one of the kind of tie-ins to this is the fact that Arnie and Sylvester Stallone were originally picked to kind of be the leads for this.
Yeah, so to fucking steal this factoid right off the bat, before someone snatched it from you.
Because I knew you'd do it.
Yeah. And what was the other couple of actors then? Come on.
So one of them, was Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Michaelis Douglas.
Michael Douglas and Harrison Ford, right?
Yeah, Harrison Ford.
What was the other one?
Bruce Willis and Alec Baldwin.
What was the other one?
Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal, which is fucking crazy.
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal. Who the fuck is Steven Seagal, man?
Seagal.
You're saying Seagal because there are fucking seagulls in this movie. But anyway, we'll talk about them later.
Yeah, that's where my brain is at the moment. It was great. That was a great moment. But there's such a height disparity between those two actors. It's crazy.
And this movie was in development for like fucking 6 years, dude.
Yeah.
Apparently as well.
But even to the point of Robert De Niro and Pacino were looked at for this role. So
yeah,
I mean, they were like sort of the dream team. The writers definitely wanted back in 1990.
Was it Heat 1991, 1992, something like that? There you go. So yeah, but this script was going around. This script was going around for like 5 years, and it was meant to take place in the future as well. Was this going head to head with Demolition Man?
It went more head-to-head with another Nicolas Cage film because it happened to be released a little bit earlier than this one.
Con Air.
Yeah, Con Air was released within the same month in the same year. So it was a bit of a cagey fest this year.
Yeah. Should be like that every year. Actually, it is like that every year.
It is like that every year.
Technically. Now just people are enjoying it.
Quality of the movies.
But I'm saying that it is it's a Cage fest every year. Now we're enjoying it again. That's, That's what's happening.
So technically, you could call it a cage match between the two movies.
My God, dude! Oh shit, dude! We just started. I'm gonna look at the algorithm of this episode. People are gonna drop at the 4:50 mark right after you said this.
Should I talk about the plot?
Yeah. Let's get on.
Right after I pose a very important question, which is, Ricky, what's this movie about?
Well, this movie is about Sean Archer, a rugged FBI agent who is grieving over his dead son, Michael, whose name would be spoken several times by both of our lead actors. In the process of hunting down the killer, which is Castor Troy, and Castor Troy being an obviously bad guy by many of the scenes that you see early on in the film, Castor Troy gets knocked out and is in a coma. What to do? Oh no, hold on, there's a bomb somewhere. Quick, there's the MacGuffin. What shall we do? Let's peel off Castor Troy's face and stick it on yours, and we'll put in a chip in your voice box to make you sound like Castor Troy. Oh, and your body will just naturally change into Castor Troy's body. Oh, so you can find out information about the bomb. Oh, now you're in prison with his brother, and you found out all the information. But, oh no, Castor Troy has taken your face, Sean Archer. And then we just follow every little line of MacGuffins all the way to the end.
It is fucking trope-tastic. This movie is
so fantastic.
Oh my god! I when I was watching it with Steve, for once it was Steve bringing plausibility into this movie. Like, oh, at least they're reloading. That goes out fucking in the third act.
John Woo,
No, you were right. But in the third act, that goes out the fucking window because all of a sudden you have 45s that have unlimited clips. I understand that they've been modified or whatever, but there's this.
Yeah.
Every time it wasn't at the beginning of the movie. That wasn't happening. Yeah. That wasn't happening at the beginning of the movie.
I was about to say there was like revolvers and eagles that sounded like AKs.
I know.
Yeah.
But also, dude. Also, like as soon as the movie started, we have the entire like plane situation. That entire set piece is amazing, by the way. Like I wish they still made, because there's a ton of practical effects and it's all practical effects. Like it's great.
Look, yeah, it's not just that; it's the stunts. I mean, like the stunts in itself. This is the time where we weren't replacing people with digital avatars. We were actually having stuntmen doing the actual stunts, and that's
absolutely
great.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, subscribe. But all I'm going to say is, after Alec Baldwin fucked it for everybody, we ain't gonna get like.
Sorry, to the person who
What was the name of that movie? Yeah, sorry to the family. Obviously, it's and I'm pretty sure it was an accident. But fuck, man, after what happened with on the set of The Crow, you think that shit like that would be impossible to reoccur.
So the film, if listeners don't know, is Rust. That is meant to have been released last year, got delayed a long time because the cinematographer was it the cinematographer who was shot, or
I think so. That was either that or a cameraman, but a camera woman, or a camera operator. It's a tragedy, and it's ludicrous for people to think that Alec Baldwin had a fucking motive as well. Like, it's insane. I can only assume how he felt about the entire thing. Like, it's career destroying, but it's also like soul destroying. You kill somebody on the fucking set of a movie. You've been doing this for years. I do feel for them as well. It was an accident, and it's catastrophic. But due to that, I'm pretty sure that now we ain't gonna get not even blanks on set. It's the way it's gonna be. Fair enough. If it's for the sake of safety.
We've kind of started talking quite early on in terms of like the first major set piece. So the one going on in the airport, is it that one?
Yeah.
But
are we going to talk about?
I'll give the opening to you. You take us there. We're not going to do a play-by-play because otherwise this will, for real, take 4 hours. And I don't want to spend 4 hours on Face Off as much as I enjoyed this viewing. This movie is reminiscent of The Punisher in so many fucking ways, including that opening sequence, which you are going to describe. Because it's that mustache, dude. The first thing we see is Nicholas Cage tash. It's very prominent. Yeah. Go, man. Take us from tash to drama.
I think, though, it kind of takes into consideration also the length of the film in general. This film is 2 hours and 18 minutes. And what I find really ridiculous about the intro scene is the fact that that scene cuts back and forth from John Travolta on the merry-go-round and Nicholas Cage with the dodgy mustache way too many times. Like, way too much. To get a very grieving scene to then have like these weird flash edits and then you get the credits.
Yeah, because it's in slow motion and we're getting all of a sudden Custer. This is when he still had a shred of scruples left in his personality. Like he looks away from the gun, but it's in slow motion as well. He looks away from the scope a few times like, oh no, a child. Oh no, a child.
Yeah, I don't really care. And yeah, that's the thing. Castor Troy, as we find out later, is more of a, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit, man. Yeah, he really doesn't. He's villainous as hell.
Us learning, having those little moments of humanity of Castor Troy are kind of pointless. But what my point is that scene just seemed way too extensive. The whole, like, John Travolta, like, hugging, laughing, touching the face of Michael, which I know becomes a motif, but it's just like, come on, let's get into it. And that's after the credit sequence, the movie kind of says, we're really sorry about the intro. We kind of needed that for the plot point. Now let's get into it.
You would think that John Travolta's character, let's refer to them, Sean and
Castor.
Sean and
Castor.
You would think that he would become like the Punisher. No, instead in this movie he's more like Elliot Ness. He really is. Like, he plays a very Elliot Ness kind of character, and he works for the FBI as well. I had to draw the parallel because I couldn't help it. But it's, there's a moment of celebration later on. After this sequence, we get the entire plane sequence and everything. And there's a moment of celebration, which, for once, this department had a win. Not only they lost a lot of people, and someone goes up to Sean and gives him a bottle of Dom Perignon, I think it is, saying, they signed this bottle, thank you for, and he goes, this is for, and he mentions every single fucking person that they lost during this operation. So, yeah, fuck the champagne, not even that one. And in fact, you kind of need that sequence because later on there's the contrast of someone seeing him happy and someone being doubtful. As part of the team. It's like, why the fuck are you so fucking cheery all of a sudden? What's happening? But
why are you groping my ass?
Yeah, there's a lot of this in this movie. But look, as much as this is and I did say let's not bring plausibility into it because I turned around to Steve and I said that to him when we were watching the movie. Still, there are some moments of gravitas. Like, I will never hear "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." Say somewhere over the Rambo, somewhere over the rainbow, the same way again. I forgot about that entire sequence. And the cinematographer did well in a couple of shots. Like, everything's lit really dramatically as well, and then it goes back to fucking shooting gallery. But yeah, I also felt called out because if I was in this movie, I would be John Cassavetes' character. I'm that type of friend, right? Because that's a proper friendship. That is a friendship between Castor Troy and Cassavetes, who's a brother. He's his brother-in-law, technically. All right? But the way he's welcomed, and I have, in my party, as I obviously said that probably to you, Ricky, probably to others, I said, no more drugs for this guy. I'm sorry. The school's gonna... Have you got colleagues listening to this, man?
I don't.
Okay,
who knows?
Fine.
Who knows? But there are no drugs that I take. No,
absolutely. No. That's true. No, but we're talking about the past. We're talking about our past here, and it's also John Cassavetes looks like if you put a baseball cap on him, he looks like a current Vanilla Ice. 100%.
Yeah.
In fact,
do you mean Nick Cassavetes?
Oh, is it Nick? Oh, Nick, for fuck's sake. Did I say John Cassavetes in
there? Yeah, you did. Yeah. As in the director, right? But it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry I confused him with the fucking director. But anyway, you're right. Yeah, Nick Cassavetes. Yeah. Nick Cassavetes. Yeah. Shit. What am I gonna read up that bit? Which I just go.
No. Just admit it. All right. Nick.
Okay.
Gun.
No. But I said it in the opening of the episode, man.
Did you say Nick in the? I thought you said Nick in the opening.
I thought you said Nick in
Did
the
I?
opening. Yeah.
Okay, then I gave myself more editing work, which I will not do now. So I'm not taking any of this out. That's fine.
No, don't take it out. No,
don't take it out. Leave it in.
We make
don't
mistakes.
Take it out. Leave it in. We make mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I make loads. So yeah.
What did you, I said, don't take it out. Leave it in. And your last sentence had loads at the end.
Loads.
Well done. That's
I make
great.
loads of mistakes.
I make loads.
Of mistakes.
I've got to wipe my forehead after all of that, but yeah.
Are you sweating, dude?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Sexual sweats. Anyway, man, I'm having a good time, and every time I'm having a good time, and I'm reminding myself that I'm having a good time because I'm having a good time, there's fucking IPA entering the frame every time fucking Rick takes a sip, and I'm not having a good time all of a sudden. Then I have to remind myself that I'm having a good time, and I'm having a good time again. Then it takes another sip, and it's a cycle. You need to stop drinking IPA, dude.
No.
Or perhaps I should stop worrying about your IPA.
You really
and
need
leave.
to.
And leave. That's my resolution for 2025. Anyway, going back to this, that entire sequence I completely forgot about, and it's kind of essential because now I'm taking us back to the beginning of the airplane sequence when the box apparently Castor Troy needs certain traits. We're defining a character here. You know, on the script, we need to lay this guy a little bit, okay? Because otherwise, there's a lot of this movie that is very Batman villain, Batman villain. Like the relationship between Castor Troy and his brother is like 1992 animated series Batman. But he's given a little case. There's like a little cigar box, I think it is, and inside the cigar box, an unusually large cigar box, there are two unusually small bullets. I think they look like the guns that Agent 47 has. You know, he's got two guns, but instead of having the same whatever, you've got the dragons on the stock. They're golden guns. It's a very Chinese thing to do for John Woo to bring this in. That's fine. Even his money clip had a dragon. It's a golden dragon. With ruby eyes, I think. But, you know, they open this little thing, and there's a bag of pills in there, and that distracted me for the entire movie until I needed the scene to go, what the fuck? Okay, now I know what drug that is. Because I was there. You see
Viagra,
a bunch of
right?
No. Well, they're blue pills, but they're not. They're blue capsules. Hey, I'm familiar with those as well, man. I'll say this publicly. I don't give it. So are you, so stop it. All I'm saying is, we all tried it. It's fine. But I wanted to know. What the fuck, like, what's inside the blue capsules? And then in that scene later on in the middle of the movie, in the second act, I worked out what it is. 100% I can tell you that's Special K. That's ketamine. It's just the entire sequence. And actually, that's well shot as well because of the way they react. When the cigar box opens, before we get the plane sequence, there's more than one drug. And there's also a very prominent packet of chiclets, which it's the gum that my mom used to love those chewing gum. That was because in South America as well, I remember those being in a bag. So, but anyway, we get a bunch of joints in there already made. There's the guns and then I said to Steve, because I didn't realize what it was inside the capsule. I said to Steve, is that two downers, or is that like a downer and an upper, or what? Like, are the joints there to bring him down from whatever he takes in those capsules? No, they're two fucking downers basically. Which means the Castor Troy is like that all the time. So he's like psychopathic and high energy and full on all the time, that he needs horse tranquilizer to bring him down. Well, that's what it is. And a joint as well afterwards, because that's not enough. So the train needs to stop in his head somehow. So Alessandro Nivola in this, who plays his brother, I never liked that guy. I don't know what it is. Possibly the only performance that I remember him that I enjoyed, which is later in his career because it's recent, is in The Saints in New York, which is the prequel to The Sopranos. I think he plays Tony Soprano's father.
No, but he plays Dicky Moltisante's Christopher's father.
Oh, Christopher's father. There you go. Yeah. So, and I look, that's maligned. There's a lot of Sopranos fans that didn't like it. I actually quite enjoy The Saints of New York. Any new Soprano based media in any form I would enjoy. So I thought it was just whiny. Obviously, you're not going to get the star power that you got in The Sopranos, and you probably would want a sense of familiarity. But Ricky, you're a Sopranos fan as well. Like, did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy The Saints of New York?
Yeah, I did. I really did. And but I would point to another film that I actually thought he was quite good in, which is a film that was released like 2 years after Face Off, which was Best Laid Plans with Reese Witherspoon and Josh Brolin. And he was actually really good in that, and I really loved the layers of that film. If I watch it now, I may hate it. I don't know.
I've never seen it.
I'm being biased. I never see. I don't think I probably have seen it, but I don't remember it. And that doesn't take away from the movie. It's just that we watch so many things that sometimes that happens. But I think he was in Jurassic Park 3, if I'm not mistaken.
This is what we talked about. That was the only film we could remember him being in.
Yeah, and I really disliked him in that. That's maybe because I don't know what it was, but it just didn't do it for me. It was very prominent in Jurassic Park 3 as well.
But then again, Jurassic Park 3 was a bit, yeah.
Oh, it's a third installment. It's a major franchise. There are big chances that it's not going to work out.
Exactly.
But it's what it is.
He also appeared in a few indie darling films that were really well noted at the time. So, for example, one of them's Junebug, which had Amy Adams in it and Ben McKenzie. But he was also being typecasted. Like, he was always picked to be a bit of the arsehole of the piece. Not so much the protagonist.
So it was meant to be dislikable, or the turncoat, right?
Slightly more the antagonist, but more the asshole antagonist that's meant to disappear in the background quite quickly throughout the film. So, I think a little bit of typecasting going on there, but also I think with a lot of these actors, they do a lot of indie darling films. And then, as you said, more recently, supposedly the movie The Brutalist that has only just been released.
Yeah, which I really want to see it. Yeah.
You really want to see The Brutalist?
Yeah, I saw the trailer when we were watching Nosferatu, and I was quite interested. It's been popping up.
Is that
repeatedly.
the Adrian Brody?
Yeah.
Then definitely I will see it. Just solely on the basis of the fact that I really like Adrian Brody. We're not going to do a play-by-play, so we'll jump around here. And I did.
That's probably right.
Yeah, we're going to jump around, and it's not a problem.
We've started talking about Pollux Troy, and Pollux Troy's character is not meant to be likable. But not only that, there's meant to be that slight neurodivergency about his character.
That's the worst portrayal of autism I've ever seen on film.
Yeah, and the reason I feel like the reason it was because he based it on a video documentary about Robert Crumb, but he based it on Robert Crumb's brother, Harold Crumb. And Harold Crumb, Harold Crumb's brother in this documentary that I've watched. Again, you catch like these weird conversations with him, which it has the speech affectation that he tries to replicate. And you're right. It's that whole
sounds
thing.
Like fucking Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, exactly. And it also, which is why like that scene in the prison when he gets told who Sean Archer is and who Castor Troy is, and he's like, "Goodbye, brother."
He does it with this little pinky as well.
Oh my god!
Is sort of, you can tell that he's been watching one individual who has neurodivergency and just try to replicate that one individual rather than be more honest or respectful to somebody with those sort of divergencies.
Gotcha. But I said we're going to jump around because I was going to talk about. This is when, see, I don't want to say art imitates life because, I mean, this is an art form, but not necessarily highlighted via the means of action. it's a genre that doesn't. But there are glimpses in this. Yeah, there are. There's an artistic flair in the kinetic quality of action sometimes, and you would want a director the caliber of John Woo to do that. He was coming off Our Target, I think.
Hard Boiled?
Broken Arrow. Broken Arrow.
Yeah.
With John Travolta as well. And he did an excellent job with this for what it is. You know what I mean? He had more creative control because of the critical success the monetary success of Broken Arrow. Yeah. So it shows, okay, but he still had to appeal to an American audience as well, or to a global audience. So there is this contrast between the two. That there's a lot of layers in this movie, and some sequences I wish they were longer as well. And you pick up on the gravitas of the dramatic kind of implications of the situation via the performances, particularly Nicholas Cage, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll talk about those in a moment. What I'm getting at is at the beginning of this episode, I did say we were going to talk extensively about the supporting cast of this, and we'll start with something that is so mind-boggling. This movie was probably shot in, I don't know, it must have started shooting at the end of 95, right? Or something like that. Or 96, if it came out in 97. So we are almost 30 years away from when this movie was released. And Danny Masterson plays... Wait a second. I was going to fucking go there, man. I have to go there. Danny Masterson plays the dude who's about to rape his daughter, Sean's daughter, but Custer is already inside Sean's face. So, and he ended up in serving a 30-year sentence for rape. Yeah, so it's fucking
we would
insane.
Say it was perfect casting.
Yeah, you would say there's nothing funny about rape, though. That's the thing.
No, it's terrible.
It is terrible. But the thing is, this is also this is before we got to know him as Hyde in the 70s show. Yeah. And because the 70s show was what? Came out 99, 2000, 2001?
Yeah.
Can someone check how many tabs you got open? What?
Way too many. It did come out. 70 shows did come out after this, but you referring to the daughter, Jamie, who is played by Dominic Swain. And Dominic Swain most famously played Lolita in the 97? Oh, look, the same year, the 97 Lolita. She's almost, again, it's not typecasting, but again, she's made to be the young, affectionate girl.
Forbidden fruit kind of situation.
Forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
The peach.
Yeah.
You know, if she wasn't on the cusp of getting too old for this role, because when I see the actor, what's her name again?
Dominic Swain.
Dominic Swain.
Yeah.
This was her first role.
Yeah, but it's a very Juliette Lewis kind of. I would have seen, if this was like 89 or 1990 or 91, I would have seen Juliette Lewis in that role. And she would have played it to a T, perfectly. But anyway, going back to Danny Masterson, is he involved in Scientology as well? Wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Which is where a lot of these crimes were happening.
That's
and
insane,
they were happening
mate.
Within.
Yeah, he's in, man. He's in for good. And I remember, Don, look, you watched those on Screek, so I don't have to defend myself too much here. But myself and I were watching The Ranch, The Ranch with Ashton Kutcher, and solely on the premise that fucking Sam Elliott is in it, and I love Sam Elliott. So I could watch that guy read the phone book, mate. I could watch that mustache bob up and down while reading the fucking phone book. All right? That was a very Tarantino, all right? Sorry.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and that threw me off because I forgot about this, dude. I completely forgot about that sequence. The guy is in jail now, dude. 30-year sentence. He deserves every single one of those years. And I hope he's getting retribution in jail as well. I hope it's the jail on the oil rig.
The future jail, where they've all got boots from Super Mario
Brothers.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Are they the same? Is it
They're
the
the
same
ones?
boots.
No.
Yeah, they're the same exact boots.
The
They're
Goomba's
ones.
boots.
Yeah.
Oh my God, amazing. Well done, boys. Well done,
From
boys.
1993.
Yeah. Now,
At some point, I need to watch that movie again.
yeah, we do actually. I enjoyed it last time I watched it much more than because I remember when I watched as a kid, I was like, no, this isn't it. But just it's much more enjoyable now because it's absurd. What was it? As opposed to the basis of the entire lore of Super Mario, which is very plausible.
Yeah, of course it is.
So that's absurd, but like, Italian plumber, mushrooms, giant lizard, like self-abduction.
That sounds exactly right. Italian plumber.
She kidnapped
on
herself,
mushrooms.
man. She kidnapped herself, man. There's Mario on the back of the limo. I mean, that conversation.
So we are talking about the numerous character actors. One that popped up to me this time was John Carroll Lynch, who
it was in the prison. Is the leader of the guards. I was going to take it then, Max.
There we go. But what I know John Carroll Lynch for, or at least he got drawn back to my attention, is that I have watched a lot of American Horror Stories.
Yeah.
And he plays the clown in the Freak series of season 3. And
he's great.
God. Yeah, he's great.
He's great.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, it's entirely based on John Wayne Gacy's clown, the character.
Yeah,
but
totally.
We know him from other stuff, mate. Like wasn't he in Roseanne as well, or some shit like that? Like he was in 10,000 sitcoms that were quite successful. And he does comedy really well. He does drama really well. He's a excellent character actor.
He was in The Founder, the McDonald's one
with Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, Fargo. So, like those are two recent things I've rewatched with him in it. So
if you look at his credits on IMDb, he must have it's an endless list.
Yeah,
he's one
totally
of those actors.
Is.
Yeah.
I recently watched a film called The Invitation, which he was in as well, and I can't remember what year it was released. And he does a phenomenal job. And it's sort of 2015. That's when it was released. He basically is a home invader. And not only is he a home invader, but he then starts preaching to everybody. And then anybody who gets out of line, he has that stature and presence that, he's like, whoa.
He's quite imposing, yeah.
He's a big guy.
He's such a great actor as well.
He is. I think he was in the run to play the abductor as opposed to who got the role. It was, John Goodman is fantastic. He doesn't get enough praise for that particular role. It was the prequel, the sequel to Cloverfield. What was it called?
It was called...
the
one
something
in the bunker.
Cloverfield Lane. What was the number though? Something Cloverfield
47.
Lane.
47. Yeah, Steve, you're right.
47.
And he would have done an excellent job as well in that role.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we need to cover that movie at some point. The only thing that spoils that movie is fucking Dane Cook. I just can't stand him. I cannot stand the man. And at some point, I remember liking his comedy. But once you see past the shtick, it's awful.
Yeah.
I'm glad this career is over. Sorry, Dane. Yeah. Fuck you, Dane. But anyway, we're not going to do a play-by-play. But, dude, my favorite sequence in this, there's two, and they're not what you think it is. All right? Can I start? We'll pick two each. Can I start us on this?
Yep.
Yeah? All right. So the first one is when the thump procedure, which, by the way, mate,
we were laughing. We were.
I said to Steve, because I couldn't remember. Like, I've seen this film again. Like, I've seen it when it was released. I went to the movies to watch it. Then I watched it again. This is another bag of Greg's. All right, this is another bag of Shake Shack. This is another Bakewell's kind of movie. This is another McDonald's kind of movie. All right, this is when you want fast food, you get this. You know exactly what you're gonna get, and this is satisfying if you feel like that. So, I didn't actually pay attention enough last time I watched it, just purely on the basis of the enjoyment there. So I wasn't really breaking it down, but I forgot about it because of this, and I forgot about certain things. And as I'm watching it with Steve, there's the moment in which they're doing the procedure, which once again, it would have been plausible if this was set in the future, but you can see that rewrites and budgets have brought this into the present time. Therefore, this is fucking unbelievable and stupid a little bit. But when they're doing the face swap, and the surgeon has his hands wrapped around this machine, who's basically a suction cup. As it goes down, I said to Steve, as it goes down, it grabs the face. I said to Steve, imagine if it goes thump like this, and it does. It fucking does. It's a very juicy thump. Mate, it's as satisfying of a sound as the sound of an old rocket launcher as the fucking thing comes out and it goes thump. In Commando, you get a lot of thump, thump, thump. But in this case, it's suction, right? As soon as I heard the sound, I was dying, absolutely dying. And that was one of the things I enjoyed the most, just the sound, that little sound there, that thing. And then right after the procedure, that entire sequence, as implausible as it is, it was extremely enjoyable for me. I don't know why. We dissected it with Steve, and I was, we were laughing all the way through. Which, by the way, it would be insane to attend, like, if we were medical students and this was happening in the real world, and we were in the, you know what I mean? Like if we were if we were spectating this, and as soon as we heard the sound, we started laughing manically, we would be ejected. That would be the end of our medical career. Perhaps this has happened. But I'm just saying, exactly. I would just laugh my ass off. As soon as you hear the thump, you would see the surgeon turning around, looking at us, going, "You're fucking out of here, man. You're done." Anyway, and it's the sequence where when Sean is now inside Custer's face and body. And there's a very Jack Napier Batman 89 sequence in which, like you get Joker asking for a mirror. In this case, he doesn't ask for a mirror. They fucking put him in front, not a small mirror, a 3-panel mirror. His colleagues are there. He's coming out of what's akin to a chemical coma. He looks in the mirror and he has a reaction that anybody would have, that spirals into the best performance by John Travolta, because the chip on his voice is not installed yet. So what you hear is actually Sean's voice. So it's Nicholas Cage acting this. It's so fucking meta. It's Nicholas Cage acting this. He sees the reflection of his worst fucking enemy, and he has embodied his worst enemy because of this endeavor. So again, does the end justify the means here? Because it's instant regret. And he goes through a spectrum of emotions so fucking wide. He goes from fear to confusion to fear and anger and back again and back again. But what he does, you hear John Travolta turning around and this finger wagging, pointing blame at everyone in the room. And he goes, "Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!" It's the best. From now on, whenever I'm upset, I'm going to do this in public as well. I'm going to do it. If I'm returning something to a store, which is a thing from the 90s now, because, I just have to do a phone call to Amazon. So I would be abusing one poor bastard over the phone. But I'm going to do this. If I go to Greg's, all right, and I'm not happy with my order, I'm going to point to the people behind it. I'm going to have a public meltdown. I'm going to go, "Fuck you, my sausage roll is cold. Fuck you, fuck you." It's the best. I absolutely love that. That was one. These are two of my favorites. The thump and the Castor Troy now. Well, Sean inside Castor Troy's reaction.
Okay.
So can I throw one more?
No, you get
one more.
Because you're going to steal somebody else's.
Okay.
Yeah. You know this.
Who wants to go next? 2 sequences.
Can I go next?
Go. I'll let Steve go next.
So, slow motion seagulls.
Fucking hell.
I know John Woo has a thing about birds, but were they seagulls or doves, or am I?
Wait.
So this is a key thing.
Tell them.
So we were basically going, okay, there's got to be doves in the next scene, and it wasn't doves, it was seagulls in slow motion. And then as soon as the next scene kicks in, we saw the doves and we just burst out laughing, and we were just so fucking hilarious. It's great.
Yeah, but it's like Steve also Steve, your memory of this was also quite nebulous, and you did say, where are the fucking doves? And the moment he says this, there's a flock of seagulls. I just mentioned the name of a band.
Yeah.
There's a flock. You know what? I'm going to end this episode with flock of seagulls. There's this slow motion fucking seagulls just going across. And like, okay, they're not doves, they're seagulls. And we imagine a conversation with John Woo complaining to the entire production team. He was like, I want doves. And someone said, but it's a beach. And he goes, aha!
Seagulls!
I'll use another different type of garbage bird. I don't know why I'm going John Lovitz every time I do this.
But as soon as it
just
switched
like
over,
the mighty dove, I will rise high above my problems.
caw,
Why do we keep mentioning a fucking movie that nobody has seen? We keep mentioning Trapped in Paradise. Go listen to that episode and then watch that piece of shit with Nicholas Cage as well. Anyway,
but then we instantly get the inside scene, and we started joking about the fact that, they must have said, yeah, we can do the doves inside. It's like, oh my God.
And they fucking did though, dude.
Yeah.
There's an unnecessarily large amount of doves. And Steve actually, again, bringing plausibility into this, goes, they must have shit everywhere. And you know what? They did. Mate, that set, whoever the set coordinator was there, he was having a nightmare of a shoot, dude. Because that many birds, they're going to shit. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're going to tell the birds not to shit? They're going to shit. They're going to shit everywhere. And there was not a single bird shit in every sequence.
No,
so
we looked.
Mate, if we look closely at the credit, there must have been somebody's job in the credits. It was the dove shit cleaner. Or the dove / seagull shit cleaner. That would have been a job on this movie.
It was just a perfect.
Dude,
perfect
you're getting married soon. Can we have doves at your wedding?
No.
I'm your best man. I'll get the doves, dude.
No.
And in the absence of doves, I'll get seagulls. And in the absence of seagulls, I can get
crows.
Crows, man.
Some people will understand. I'm getting married on the 31st of October.
Mate, let me do it just solely on the basis that I'll have to fucking speak to some specialist.
Some weird.
I will have, just so that I can ask for a murder. Let me order a murder.
Murder of crows.
You want some birds? I'll get you some birds, man.
So my next favorite scene is with the cast of Troy, but as Sean? Yeah. No?
Mm-hmm. What, are you talking about the entire fucking movie?
No.
Which scene?
So there's one particular scene when he's in the prison, and he's basically he fights back. He says, I'm Castor Troy! I'm Castor Troy! And then suddenly it starts crying.
During the fight! This is during the fight, right?
Yeah.
This is when his brother gives him the dubious look.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm fucking got to snap into this now.
Yeah.
You're right.
One little snap where he's crying and saying it at the same time, and you just want to go, oh man, that's tragic.
Is this when he keeps going from exultation to fucking tears? Yeah. Yeah, it's a great sequence. You're right. I even like the way he falls backwards when they activate the boots at the end of that. It's just, he falls like you would. It falls like you fucking would. Which, by the way, that's probably the only stunt sequence where Nicolas Cage or John Travolta played themselves. Because, mate, I just realized that if we were ranking at them, you know what? Let's start doing that. We are ranking this. I'm ranking this as number one action movie, where the stuntmen do not look like the actors. It's
my God.
Yeah,
I was about to go on a 5-minute rant, especially with the last sequence where every single shot you could be like, they're not there. That's not even their hair.
It's not
even their body. It's like there's so much about their stand-ins or stunt doubles that look nothing like them.
Nothing like that.
You know what it is? I think that this is more of a Sixth Sense or crying game kind of thing, in which, you know, like even on the back of the box, on the back of the VHS box or whatever, sorry, we're that old, it would tell you, please do not reveal. I don't know if you remember this about movies that are twisting the tail, but they did you the courtesy, which would be impossible today with the age of social media and like endless fucking waves of stimuli coming from everywhere. Information moves way too fast to even fathom having that request if you were producing a movie with a twist in the tail, to ask the viewer not to share the fucking ending. Okay, now we get it in the trailer. It's fun. But I would actually, I forgot what the fuck I was going to say. God damn it, I'm going to leave this in. No, I was going somewhere with this. Okay. So the akin to a movie with a twist in the tail that hits you in a certain spot when you watch it the first time, and then it doesn't, it's impossible for that to hit again in the same spot. This is it. They probably thought, you know, the action pieces in this are so fucking over the top that you would focus on the action as the viewer. And you know what? Yes, true. Because I don't remember suspending disbelief the first time I watched this. It was larger than life to watch the fucking boat going through another boat. And then the guy, like, there's a lot of action bits in this that are so over the top that you would focus on the action and not on what's, like, on who's taking part in. I don't remember coming out of the theater after watching Face Off going, but the stuntmen were not. No, I need to be a fucking complaining middle-aged man to do that now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's also the size of the screen. Like, you would have seen it in the cinema. It's dark. You're into it. Now that our screens are big enough for us to, like, sit down and watch these films, like, with closer detail, you do end up going like, hey, wait a minute. All of that didn't work.
Yeah, we watched that 4K transfer as well.
Yeah.
So we did see an immensurable amount of fucking cables in this as well.
There's quite a few scenes, and I'm going to talk about the last one, where even the boat sometimes crossed the line cinematically. If you don't know what crossing the line is, imagine that you're watching two people having a conversation, and the best way to film it is to always stay on one side of the conversation. The minute you move across and you look on the opposite side of the conversation, and I don't mean from back to face, I mean from, like, someone's left side, that then you shoot from their right side.
Yeah.
It kind of mentally kind of, like, screws with you, and only a few directors can do that well. There's a scene in the final boat chase where one of the boats crosses the line. So it gets filmed from one side, and then all of a sudden the camera flips to the other side and it crosses the line, which again, me being an old curmudgeon, like, cinema trophic person, noticed it and was like, oh my God, even the boats crossed the line. Oh God, I'm getting old.
But we've seen it numerous times, so it's okay, right? Like, it's I get it. It didn't really bother me. But anyway, hey, it was your turn to mention your two favorite sequences.
So number one is going to have to be, and it's pretty long, but I'm going to shorten it down. It's the bit where they go to Castor Troy's, like, hideout, and his friends get him drugged up, and the famous line,
What's the matter with you? I want
to take his face off. And all of those lines.
No, but doesn't he get received with, what's the matter with you? You just look like your fucking mother.
What's the matter? But
do you remember that line?
Yeah, but it's not only that. There's the thing that sticks in my, and it's actually the lines that stick in my brain, like, between the years of watching this film. For example, you know, him looking in the mirror and trying to get its bearings before being slapped by Gina Gershon. But this time round, it was... And I remembered it clearly beforehand, but it's just so absurd. The him seeing Castor Troy's son, having him hug him, touching his face, and being Michael, and Gina Gershon being like, "You're scaring him, Castor. Just no."
Yeah, that's again, like Nicholas Cage showing some acting chops. Actually, that's a pretty good sequence. which
But
this will lead to the ending of this movie. But anyway, that's fucking hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, your second favorite scene.
Yeah, my second favorite scene is Sean Archer as Castor Troy meeting his wife and trying not to scare and being like, I don't want to alarm you and I don't want to scare you. And then like freaking out and scaring her anyway by like shouting at her or being like, my skin, my face. She's like, good job there, Sean. She's going to believe you now.
It wasn't that hard for John Travolta to fucking do that. Because apparently he kicked up a fuss, man. As much as allegedly John Travolta and Nicholas Cage got on like a house on fire on the.
They spent 2 weeks.
They spent weeks together. Yeah. They probably did a bunch of coke together. I'm sure that they had a great time. However, fucking John Travolta had a problem with a line in this when it was denoting his ridiculous chin. You know that line when he goes, now I'm stuck with this ridiculous chin, which it is, because the older he gets, the more that indentation in the chin, which, by the way, I find that is a mark of beauty to some people. And, I actually like a cleft chin. I wish I had it. I don't. But I like that. But he was vain. And I wouldn't be surprised. Man, we're talking about John Travolta, someone who's peaked really fucking early as an actor. Some actors get more appealing or good looking as they get older. I'll give you an example. George Clooney. Mm-hmm. George Clooney, as he gets older, he gets more, his sex appeal goes up. But then you have other actors that really need to fucking offset, which is a good thing for an actor, I guess. If you're losing your looks, then your acting ability goes up. And you have Antonio Banderas that had to deal with that shit. Then you also had...
Christopher Walken.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Steve Buscemi.
Are you saying Steve Buscemi was good looking at any point in his career?
he played the eye thing in Pan's Labyrinth, right? Steve Buscemi.
But wait a second. You talked about 2 actors that had directing ability off the charts at the beginning of their career. So, if anything, John Travolta was not much of a great actor, but he had the looks, right? So he had to do this. Then obviously he was unfortunate enough not to. It's hard to look, man.
It's hard for us to judge that because some of these people come. So you're talking about John Travolta. Personally, oh sorry, I hit my mic. Sorry there. Personally,
you got to take that anger out on something.
Don't you diss my John Travolta?
You want to fight about it?
Yeah. Personally, I actually think him in Saturday Night Fever, he really did well. But then after that, he did movies and was picked for his looks. So things like Grease, Michael, all of those films where it was his looks getting him. Like, he was being picked because everyone likes his face. And let's put him in this film because everybody will come and watch it.
Well, he was a sex symbol. That's what, that's so. Yeah. But also, don't forget all these roles that he got. They were post Pulp Fiction, dude.
Yeah.
So, including this one. And it was the time of his career. Because he was down and out when he was doing fucking movies like Look Who's Talking.
Yeah.
No, Look Who's Talking. Was it?
Yeah, Look Who's Talking.
Look Who's Talking.
Like, now.
That's it. Yeah. He was that you're on the downslope, man. That's and if his career projection or his career trajectory, is akin to Mickey Rourke and the uplift that Mickey Rourke got. The problem is that you've done Mickey Rourke is a tragic story because and. Again, I don't feel sorry for him because he got to do whatever the fuck he wanted to do. He wanted to stop acting. He wanted to become a boxer. And he did that. Okay? That's not that he wasn't getting roles. Dude, Mickey Rourke got off the train of popularity and decided to do something else. Not because he wasn't doing well. Mickey Rourke got off the Hollywood train when he was at the top of his game. He just decided he wanted to be a boxer. And then the result of that didn't work out like he probably wanted to. And he went back into filmmaking, into becoming an actor again. But his face was not a match for the face that he had before, because that's what happens when you box. So it's very similar. They got the same uplift, like with Mickey Rourke, it was the wrestler, like that was. But the problem is that where he got physically, and with the amount of plastic surgery that he had, it was difficult. It was very difficult to come back.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, that was your two scenes. You described two of them.
I did
Ricky?
2 scenes. I did.
Yeah.
2 scenes.
I'm just going to say that on top of this conversation, because we're talking about John Travolta, he did after this, his career started going down again. We looked at everything. Well, I'm just going to mention Battlefield Earth because
for fuck's sake! Which, by the way, holy shit, mate! With you saying that, I realized why Danny Masterson was in this.
Yeah.
Scientology.
It's all connected.
Come on,
it's
all connected.
No, it is because John Travolta is a Scientologist, and so is Danny Masterson. So they probably knew from each other. I'm surprised that fucking Tom Cruise is in this.
Well, obviously, John Woo went to.
I just don't know.
Mission Impossible, one of his masters.
He was one of the producers that came to the one in Tropic Thunder.
Oh my God.
More dabs. I want more fucking dabs.
But remember, John Woo went on to do Mission Impossible as well.
Which one?
The third one was it?
2. Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah, you're saying it like it's matter of fact. How many of those fucking movies are there, man? 7?
So Mission Impossible 2 has not only the soundtrack with Metallica and Limp Bizkit, but also has the 2 bikes going up against it. Dougray Scott's on one bike, Tom Cruise is on the other, and
did you just say? What did you say?
Dougray Scott.
No, and one bike, as in 2 girls and 1 cup. What did you say? What did you say?
So, and look, I'm moving them close together, just like Requiem for a Dream. And so they're on 2 bikes, right? And just as the bikes are about to hit each other, they both jump off, bear hug as the bikes impact.
Yeah,
I mean, that's Mission Impossible 2.
That's Mission Impossible 2. Because it's got him free climbing, isn't it? That was a Mission Impossible 2 one. Yeah.
Okay. You just unlocked the fucking... Man, there's been endless references to that sequence in Requiem for a Dream lately. Even on the Horror Weekly group, whatever, there's been like a meme of 2 UPS trucks.
Right.
A meme of 2 UPS trucks standing back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you just unlocked... I laughed and whatever, we posted those memes, whatever... And I have seen that movie, and I never unlocked the memory that I just unlocked now, which I'm publicly gonna fucking put on the table.
Oh, God.
And I shouldn't. The back-to-back kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I was... Because this is therapy. This is what the show is. For you as well, listeners. You know what's funny about this? That I do the editing of the show, and I'm gonna leave this in. I'm gonna leave it in. Leave it in. I'm not taking this out. I'm gonna regret this. When I was about 9 years old... We had 2 terriers. Yeah. Darila and Filippo. These were the names of my dogs, of my family dogs. Now, my mom, it's a shame that she doesn't understand English that well, but I'm going to call her after this probably because I need to call her. I haven't called her in a while. And I'm going to tell her that I publicly told this story. We were in our garden. And I saw these 2 dogs screaming, these 2 terriers screaming, and they were attached to one another, but back to back. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So there was one dog going this way, one dog going the other way. And I know it sounds like I'm calling up the beat in the Goodfellas, but I'm not. And I went over, because my dogs are screaming, and I'm 9 years old. I don't know what the fuck is going on. And I tried to split them. And as I'm trying to split these 2 terriers, they're not coming apart. They're screaming more. My mom rushes out because now it's the cries of her dogs. All right. Do you remember the cries of your dogs, Clarice? Anyway, and I'm trying to pull these 2 terriers apart and they're not coming apart. My mom comes over. She shoves me aside, then turns around and goes, "It's okay. Don't stress." And I see her because I fall to the side. And I see her maneuvering the dogs so that they could be dislodged. What happened here is that the dogs are fucking each other. But somehow there was enough torsion to put them ass to ass. And they were fucking screaming. So instead of improving the situation, I'm trying to fucking pull harder on these 2 little terriers. Ricky's laughing his ass off. But my mom knew, like, this has fucking happened before. All right? It takes a mother's knowledge to pull the two terriers apart. Man, this is one of the most dramatic. And you mentioning the two bikes going in opposite directions has unlocked this fucking traumatic memory, which was dormant in my psyche for a while. Thank you very much. And that's why I don't like terriers.
Okay, how are we meant to? Now
you're meant to laugh.
Right.
You're meant to fucking laugh because the uncomfortable silence is going to make it worse. And I'm going to edit the silence out. So laugh, motherfuckers. Laugh. I'm taking this. I get to take the story out. I have to take this. Did you just do a Stephen Hawking? Like, sound like a seagull. I'm probably going to leave this in. Now I realize why I don't like terriers. We always talk about having dogs. Anna really likes terriers, and I don't. And she never. Anna, you listening to this? She will. Everybody will listen to this. But now I know what's at the root of me not liking terriers. I tried to.
There you go.
I really hope that this is how you're going to promote this next show. Discover why Umba does not.
Say, listen, if I would have to look further,
Umba deals with trauma.
I am also. Hey, I'm quite complex, motherfucker, and I gotta tell you, because this is completely. It's a contradiction in terms. Because I really like "Come Out and Play" by the Offspring.
You
gotta keep them separated. That's. I just sounded like a fucking diesel car starting in the winter.
Oh my god!
Starting going.
Oh my god!
Okay, let's get back to this movie.
I don't think we can, Steve. I think we've got to this weird sticking point where every time I'm gonna be saying,
mate, is that what you meant? By the way, is that what you meant? No, wait a second. In Mission Impossible 2, right? Is that what you meant? Because if I misunderstood you,
the motorcycle people are coming at each other.
At each other.
Fuck you, dude.
And they
fuck
hug
you and fuck
in
me.
midair.
No, because the geometrical position, like the actual, I thought they were opposite. They're coming at each other.
No.
So you told that beautiful, beautiful story because you said something, and it meant I said, yeah, like.
Hey, I swear, here, I don't speak the English. I misunderstood you, dude. I really did.
And me saying a flipping comment that referred to that scene in Requiem for a Dream. And
why didn't you stop this at any moment?
Because it was beautiful. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Dude.
By the way, for our listeners,
I want this part of your best man speech for Steve. By the way, I want that same story.
Oh God, no!
You see, there are two terriers inside of you. There are two terriers inside of all of us, and it's up to you if you want to split them or if you don't know how to. Call your mother. That's what I'm saying. Call your mother today.
To request for assistance if you can't get out of the situation.
Fuck you and fuck you and fuck you. I'm just saying. Fuck these. Hey, whatever the fuck this was, okay. This is horrid for someone to listen to this. Oh
my God. Right.
We have gotten so comfortable with each other, haven't we? Over these, 15 episodes?
You're talking to our listeners, right? You've gazed into this fucking void much longer than.
Let's not talk more about gazing into voids anymore, shall we?
We gaze to each other's voids.
You looked deep inside the mirror and saw somebody else's face.
I just want this face.
Hey, that's a good segue, Steve. That's a good segue.
Yeah.
Mate, I really misunderstood. I saw opposing. This is like a Rorschach thing, all right? I saw opposing motorbikes. You showed me a stain. There was two motorbikes, all right? I always praised you as the theater of the mind of the show, but my inability to fucking listen has dragged me into this dark fucking cul-de-sac, which I shared with everybody. I'm going to call my mum at the end of this. And
apologize?
No, fuck you. The most important thing here is call your mother. I'm going to call my mum. And you, I'm talking to you, listener. If your mom's still around, if you didn't call her enough, call her. Call your mother. Call your mother. We're all going to call our moms after this.
I called my mum last night. It's all good.
Okay, how often do you speak to your mother, Steve?
Once a week.
Fuck, I'm a piece of shit, man. Or you got a problem.
No.
Like, is there Oedipal issues here? You talk to her once a week, or am I really a piece of shit? Steve,
no,
Ricky,
just...
how often do you talk to your mother?
About a couple of times a week, but I've got kids.
Oh my God, I'm a piece of shit.
Kids, so.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a piece of shit.
Okay.
I need to call her mom more often.
We love you, Umba.
We love you.
No, but wait,
it's not
dude.
your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Don't fucking do this to me, man. Don't you fucking do this to me, man.
It's not your fault.
Don't you? Don't you do?
It's not your fault.
Going back to Face Off.
So I want to talk. We talked a little bit about some of the character actors. This is steaming full of character actors.
Hey, can I go for a smoke? Can I go for a smoke?
Yeah, we can talk about character actors because I want to mention Tommy Flanagan, the guy with Chelsea Smile.
You want to say that again, mate? You want to say that again?
Tommy Flanagan.
Okay. Good.
The guy with a Chelsea smile.
Yeah.
He doesn't say a single word.
I'm going to edit the first part out. I'm going to leave that in. I'm just calling you. All right. Now, can I just say, I got to go to the toilet as well. Like, and I really want to use the thing that we did for the show. I want to use it again. So can we all take a break collectively, restock, and what? Are you pissed off because I'm giving you a break? I'm giving you a break, man. Take the break. Let's go to the loo.
Is this going to be another 2-hour classic?
I'm just happy that you called it a classic. Rick has disappeared. No, he's back.
No, he's back.
I was checking the time of our recording, and every time I check the time, it cuts my video out. So I'm like,
time after time.
Time after time.
Time after time.
All right, go for the smoke.
Cyndi Lauper.
I'm gonna hit the. I'll use this break.
Okay. It's a toilet break. It's an official toilet break.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Ooh. So.
Holy shit.
We've got some great character actors in here. I know that while we were watching it, both myself and Umba went, is that Thomas Jane?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another Punisher connection. Yeah.
And we also had Tommy Flanagan, who's a guy with a Chelsea smile. Who's
not Chelsea, Glasgow.
Glasgow smile, Chelsea smile. Well, it is a Chelsea smile. It's the same. Chelsea and Glasgow are exactly the same smiles.
What do you mean, Chelsea, England, or Glasgow? We're talking about Glasgow, Scotland.
He's got a Glasgow smile or a Chelsea smile. It's the same thing.
Chelsea. Isn't Chelsea like a posh area of London?
Well, it didn't used to be.
Talk more about that. Tell us about.
So,
how much Assassin's Creed have you played?
London.
The London one, Syndicate, is one of the best. It doesn't get mentioned enough. Okay,
it's a really good game.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to replay that game today.
Mary started
5 minutes.
Mary started replaying it last year, and she completed it, and I was just like, I'm just going to sit down and watch it again.
It's great.
Just
great depiction of London.
Play the game.
About that game I played from beginning to end while I was going through after my motorbike accident.
Oh shit! Yeah. Yeah. So,
and that accident happened. The beginning of that accident was because there were two opposing motorbikes.
Oh my god!
Parked back to back, and
so
okay. Yeah.
Do you want to take the Thomas Jane angle, Umba?
No, you talk about Thomas Jane, mate. Because I remember when we were sitting there, I said, was it me that said it, or was it you? No, it was you. No, it was me.
So
no,
you said,
is that my face on your face? That's a,
it's a face off.
It's a face. But when we saw him, we were like, "Fuck, is that?" I think it was me that said that's Thomas Jane, and we were already talking about the Punisher.
Like, is that? And you couldn't think of the name, and I said it's Thomas Jane.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened, Larry. Yeah. That's what happens.
Bird kicks.
Yeah. Thomas Jane. Yeah. Another Gina Gershon. We mentioned her. There is another character actor in this that gets killed in the most unceremonious manner and emphatic manner ever. And I couldn't share this with Steve because he didn't watch the fucking show. Now, for our listeners, I hope that you are swimming in an abyss of good taste periodically or regularly.
Like me.
And if you are, then you're a Silicon Valley fan, and you know that the boss of Yuli, which is the equivalent to Google in Silicon Valley, is played by a character actor, and I need one of you with tabs open to find out his name, because he is a team member of... What is it?
No.
You don't even watch the fucking show. Give this one to Ricky.
No.
Ricky, you've seen Silicon Valley, right?
No, I didn't watch it, mate.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Shame on both of you.
Matt Ross. Yeah, so I was right.
Oh yeah. What else do you fucking know Matt Ross from, Steve?
Captain America.
There you go.
He's a
Marvel head.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I know about that. It's an issue, actually. It is an issue.
What?
Because enough's enough. That's why.
So he was in American Psycho.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I find the entire business cards. He's the
business
queerish.
cards.
He's the queerish guy. Yeah. It's latent.
Well, I want to bring this to one of my favorite shows, and
more intensity.
Harv Presnell, who plays the FBI boss Victor.
Oh yeah.
Guys, isn't the guy in RoboCop as well? Am I mistaken? He is. It looks like he should be.
I think.
Close your eyes.
I'm realizing that both of you have had a tipple. You've both had some drinks, and I'm just going like.
You wish you would be regretful on a Sunday morning as much as we are, don't you? Steve, can I say, I'm going to issue a public apology to Steve, because when Steve was here, I acted like a piece of shit.
You did?
Yes. I brought up 2 different scotches, and then had a beer, which is his favorite beverage,
Beverage?
Yes. And I made a couple of jokes, which, I got to say, I still slept well that night, but I after the movie, I didn't regret any of it, as much as I am acting like I am now. That I'm regretting doing that to you, because you should be praised. Again, January, very unusual for people to have resolutions. Very unusual. You went back to the gym. Dude, you could have brought me back to the gym. It's around the fucking corner. You live around the corner. Okay, I'm putting it on you. I'm your friend.
Not putting on yourself.
No.
Well, other than the weight.
You're a fucking piece of shit for this. Fucking piece of shit for this. I'm not taking any of this out, man.
Hey.
I'm not. This is a pregnancy.
This is going to. We've derailed so much.
Okay. All right.
Fair enough.
That's
all right. So the other characters that appear in this that really surprised me on this watch was you've got CCH Pounder, who is best known from The Shield. You've got Robert Wisdom,
who does he play?
CCH Pounder. She plays one of
Oh,
the person
dude,
who.
is that the?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
when she came on, we thought, holy shit, she would also, as much as Viola Davis is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Mate, I betcha that when they had auditions for Amanda Waller in the Suicide Squad and Creature Commandos, which I've been screaming about this show, Steve is not watching it. Ricky, shame on you for paying too much attention to your family life, being a good dad, and your job, not to listen to my shit and put that at the top of the pile.
Yep.
You need to watch Creature Commandos.
It's really good.
It's fucking phenomenal. There's a bunch of actors that are like doing voiceover work for it. The story, everything. It's you. You love it. Watch it.
I suspect that voiceover work will become more
Canon. Yeah,
canon.
it will. I guaranteed, and I hope so. But anyway, we were talking about Creature Commandos because the moment she came on screen, it's like, holy shit, she as much. And again, I say that again, I'm a huge Viola Davis fan.
Yeah.
Dude, I became a Viola Davis fan when I saw her in Doubt. In Doubt, she plays a grieving mother.
Yeah,
and she
amazing.
is amazing. Nobody cries like Viola Davis. Like, it's amazing. She's amazing, and I'm just not just saying that. Both myself and I are huge fans. But when she would have been up for the role, right? When their auditions, because she would have played it really well as well.
Yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned
what's CC, like CC Pounder? So what's
Carol Christine Hillary.
Carol Christine Hilaria or something like that.
Hilaria,
Okay.
But it's funny that you mentioned Amanda Waller, because last week we talked about Vanessa Williams. This week we've talked about CCH Pounder. Both of them have been Amanda Waller in animated versions or video game versions of.
Wow.
Yeah, so CCH Pounder was Amanda Waller in Batman Arkham Origins, as well as Batman Assault on Arkham and the Batman Superman animated film that I can't find.
It's a fleeting kind of enjoyment I get out of this one. You guys are going to fucking react to this because you think I'm talking shit, but because you usually do, and you should. I don't enjoy being right. I don't. Okay? It's not a thing I get off on. No, you're laughing, but I don't get off on being right. If anything, sometimes I get off on being wrong because I've learned something. Yeah? I really. Some people really get off on being right. That's not a battle I fight most of the time. It's like I don't enjoy winning as much as I enjoy losing, actually. I'll tell you that. But in this case, you just gave me a little goosebumps.
Nice.
And Steve got the goosebumps as well a little bit.
I did. I'm wondering whether we recognize the voice as Amanda Waller.
No, it's the demeanor.
But
it's the demeanor.
Yeah.
It's the demeanor of these two
100%.
actors that it's very like, it's like, first of all, both of them fit the bill of being in a position of authority really well.
100%.
And on top of that, they can go from making a tough choice, which gives them layers, to being imposing as, I have the authority to do this. Both actors do that very well.
And Vanessa Williams played Amanda Waller in Batman Hush, the animated one,
which I highly recommend. Another good adaptation.
As well,
in 2 parts, right? Hush is in 2 parts, I think.
Yeah. And also in Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. So
wow.
So both of them have played Amanda Waller a couple of times in their career, but for animated or video game franchises. The other one was
still acting.
Yeah, and the other one is Robert Wisdom, who appeared in The Wire.
Is Robert Wisdom the black actor that plays he's one of the 2 agents in front of the mirror when? He's great, and I've seen 1,000 things, man. Like I couldn't remember his name actually.
Yeah. Margaret Cho, the stand-up comedian.
Oh shit! It is her.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, she replaced Chow Yun-fat because Chow Yun-fat was actually going to come over to America and be in this film for whatever scheduling reasons. He couldn't make it, and they replaced him with Margaret Cho, which is crazy because if anybody knows anything about Margaret Cho, she is
from Hidden Crouching Tiger.
Chow Yun-fat, yes. As well as from earlier John Woo films like Hard Boiled and from his Hong Kong era.
Yeah.
And Margaret Cho, again, stand-up comedian. So you wouldn't place her, but she is the one who turns around to Castor Troy as Sean, and says, "Who removed that out of your body?" And he's like,
Yep.
What?
What?
And he's like, "Who's removed the rod out of your ass?" And that's Margaret Cho. Another final one that I want to highlight is from the prison is Chris Bauer, who is better known if anybody watched.
Oh, dude, he's fucking. These are me, and tell me if I'm mistaken, because I may be. But even if I'm mistaken, it's along the likes of the type of character actor role that he would go for. It's the same type of roles.
Yes, he does.
And I actually pointed it out to Steve. I said, this guy is the guy that basically does the Batman beat, right? There's the Batman 89 beat in which he sleeps and he falls. But he's that guy. He's the guy who was an enemy of Castor, and then he becomes an ally as they're trying to escape the prison. That's the guy you're talking about.
Yep. Yeah. That's the
he always plays a piece of shit. He
he's
gets
the one who
typecasted one-on-one.
He gets floored onto a table.
He plays the racist really well. He plays those roles. Yeah.
But the thing that always keeps coming to my brain, because he was in The Wire, but I think I can
was he in The Wire?
He was in The Wire.
Yeah, but
he was in Law and Order. He was in Homeland.
Yeah, the thing that keeps popping up into my brain that I remember him the most from is True Blood. He is one of the main characters in True Blood.
He does.
In True Blood, he plays the basically the racist local cop.
Hick. He plays the Hick.
Who has a heart of gold by season 2 or 3.
I gotta say, that guy should be a poster boy for being typecasted, man.
He's in 81 episodes of True Blood.
He was from episode 1 to the very end.
Don't get me wrong. This is not to discredit him. We keep saying when actors get typecasted, that means that they do what they do very well. As a character actor, that's praise. Yeah. But this movie is a paragon for something, and I think I fleetingly mentioned this with Steve. And I want to talk about this, how Hollywood replaces icons of people that are in demand in cycles with other actors that aesthetically look quite similar. And one of them that shocked me in this one, as soon as she came on screen, I went, what the fuck?
Joan Allen.
It's Joan Allen. And the actor that is currently, we all know her from the Ozark. If you've seen Apartment 7A, you should know who she is. It's Julia Garner.
Mm-hmm.
So this is in the fashion of I don't know. It's something that I don't know if you agree or not. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to me that Hollywood tends to rehash. I mean, it's not greatest revelation. I guess anyone could observe this and agree. We rehash. We make endless sequels. We make remakes, but it seems to me that there's a certain type that seems to work, and not only from a matter of looks, but even anything, the essence of an actor itself gets replaced and over and over and over. And it's like, it seems to be like a 20, 30 year cycle. I don't know what it is, but with John Allen and Julia Garner, that's an example of this. Then you have the irreplaceables. And I think one of the leads in this particular movie, actually both of them, John Travolta's got a way about him as well. It would be difficult to try and replace these guys. I know what, Ryan Gosling, for example, is replacing. In my opinion, Ryan Gosling is replacing Brad Pitt. That's what Ryan Gosling is doing. But you have some irreplaceables, and I that's the thing. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard because the caliber of actors during this time period of action films, you can't replicate that again. So even when Brad Pitt tries to do an action film, he's not doing the same sort of crazy, unhinged acting as both of these guys are doing throughout this film. I personally wish that I saw a face-off with the reversed casting, in a way. I kind of wish that Castor Troy was mainly played by Nicholas Cage throughout this film. Kind of. I've always, ever since I first watched this film, when I first got it out of the video store, whacked it into the
you could have had this movie without the gimmick, right? Of the face swap, and it still would have worked.
Yeah.
That's the shocking thing about it. And I didn't think about it until you took us on this path. This movie would have worked as a straight-up action movie without the face swap with the entire thing. However, there are some sequences in which that really works.
Yeah.
And it's when, Nicolas Cage freaks out. One of my favorite sequences is when he freaks out in front of the mirror the first time. And then there's also as much as I wish it was, you couldn't have had it longer because it was almost a tribute to, I think it's a Bruce Lee movie as well, in which he goes, like the Raid, he goes through levels like a video game. There's the mirror sequence, which is, no, I don't think that's what it's called. But anyway, there's the sequence in the shooting gallery in the second act when they go back to the hideout of the friends, Cassistroy's friends, right?
Yeah. So
it's when they... Anyway...
Yeah, I think you're talking about
that Bruce
Enter
Lee
the
movie
Dragon
with the hollow mirrors. Yeah. What is it?
Yeah.
Which one?
Enter the Dragon.
Which, by the way, at some point we need to do a Bruce Lee movie because when I was a kid, man, my generation,
we need to cover all of them because
you know what? We'll do the one with Chuck Norris.
Chan.
We'll do the one with Chuck Norris. We'll do the one with Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah. Anyway, and there's that sequence in which both of them are pointing guns at a mirror, and as stupid as that seems, it's fucking like the prospect of that in real life is horrifying because you are about to shoot yourself
in the face.
You're shooting. You're shooting the guy who killed your son, and you're shooting your nemesis from Custer's point of view. But it's almost like that sequence is too short. But yet again, this is an action movie, and you couldn't have had any longer. You can't have any further introspection into a sequence of this type. But let's not go over it without the implications of it. Because, you know what I mean? Like, do you remember the sequence I'm talking about? When they shoot themselves across
where they go, why don't we get this over and done with and just shoot each other?
Yeah, it's an action movie.
There's one single mirror left standing after that scene.
Oh, yeah.
And they're basically back to back on it and then turn around.
Can you not say back to back after what we discussed?
You brought it up.
Jesus Christ. No, Ricky brought it. Well, I brought up I did all of that myself. It was really I'm sorry. I misunderstood something and fucking ran with it. I don't even know, there's still a part of me that wants to edit that out, and I don't know how the show is going to work without it.
It's going to be so funny.
But I'm going to name this episode. I'm going to name it Screendivers episode, what is it, 16?
15,
I think.
You've got it in the corner.
16. Face Off, and in brackets, I'm going to put the two terriers. That's what I'm going to call it.
Okay. So let's get back to the movie.
Movie. Well, are you uncomfortable, Steve? We've been friends for a long time.
I'm not uncomfortable.
Let's dwell on my fucking childhood trauma, please. Don't you need to know these things, man.
Trauma, mate.
Yeah, I know we do.
Just don't bring it up in a podcast.
Feel free, mate. Please freak us out.
I don't think you heard me, Umba. You've got something I crave.
Why are you saying that? I got what plants crave. Electrolytes.
Electrolyte. It's full of electrolyte. Look, I mean, okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. We're going to start wrapping this up, but I'm going to be honest with you guys.
Are we going into ratings? Do you want to go into ratings?
We will go into ratings, but there's a lot about this film that if I was being honest to the film, to myself, my rating would be very low. But I'll explain that.
Piece of shit for this. Just take it for what it is, man.
Wait.
Action.
Yes. It would be.
You're fucking what? Take your critical eye on,
look, I said if I was taking in everything, the technical aspects, the cinematography, the editing, and all of that stuff. Like, John Woo has done better movies in Hong Kong. However, let's get to the ratings. Let's start with Steve.
No, before we do that, wait a second. No, Steve, wait. Before we go, your segue. That was very quick. There's something we're going to talk about. Because I got confused. And I'm going to admit this publicly, and this is going to shame me much more than the Terrier story. I, for a second, thought, I don't know why I was confused, okay, but I spent most of my life thinking that City of Fire was a John Woo film. It's not. It's Ringo Lam, right? Yeah. And it's worth mentioning because we have a City of Fire kind of standoff at the end of this. very much like Reservoir Dogs, which is where I'm not going to say stealing, because if it was stealing, then it's the best.
Homage?
No, that's what it is. It's a film fan to another film fan, right? Tarantino. People that say that Tarantino is plagiarizing is a fucking idiot. Because if you're going to steal, then Tarantino is the Arsenio Lupin of fucking stealing, okay? He is the best, all right? He is. And in at the end of Reservoir Dogs, we get the City of Fire standoff, which goes beyond a Mexican standoff. It goes in this one, too many people. There's so many fucking people, mate. Like and I thought
in the church,
in the church, and I thought, is this like a pentagram? Like I looked at it, it's like if you looked at the crossing from above. Are they making like a No, there's no.
There's people
the
standing
Dark
off.
Lord was not summoned on this one. But another thing as well. Let's talk about the sequence when John Allen's character, which is Sean's wife, is trying to prove to herself, because obviously you would go insane if this was a real world situation. First of all, the implications of the fact that you literally slept with the enemy, the guy who killed your son, because she's exactly. It's terrifying, and her acting is pretty good here as well. However, when she wakes up in the morning next to the enemy and she's trying to have final confirmation for herself, because she's a doctor, right? So she has access to. She pricks him, and I gotta say, the needle on this thing is real thick. It actually took me out of the movie for a moment, because I thought, why does it have to be that big? Like, it could be like it's a fucking...
It looked like the stiletto from Basic Instinct. The stiletto.
Mate, it's like the ice pick. The ice pick, it's the ice fucking... Pick. It's really thick. And you can see John... If someone's, like, stick you with that when you were asleep, you would wake up. No, it's just a shrug off here. But anyway, and she does this to prove... if the blood type of her husband, because they've been married for a while, they have a family, she would know. She's a doctor, right? She would know. And here's a little factoid, the little puplet. Sean's Archer blood type in this movie is O negative.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And that is a universal donor blood type. Did you know that?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Custer Troy's blood type in this is AB, and that is the universal receiver.
All right.
I hate this factoid because it brings plausibility to the entire thump sequence. It does, because it does. It kind of, like, the entire medical procedure in this is so fucking stupid. Like, even if it was rooted in the future, if we go via an idiocracy kind of route, the future is dumb, and it will be dumb. Because it is getting dumber. And I'm saying that like a proper fucking middle-aged man, shaking fist at the sky.
We got to remember, face transplants have been done in this day and age. They're not the best of situations.
Let's just say that. What do you mean?
Well, face transplants have been done in this day and age.
From one face to another, like a face of a...
Yeah.
Like,
really?
Skin grafting, but yes.
Yeah, it's skin grafting, but usually it's the skin... What are you talking about? Are you talking about someone's face being taken from that person to another person?
So it's
Open a tab, man.
I'm opening a tab.
Because I'll put it in the show notes. And you know what? There are no show notes.
And there's a little trivia that in 1997 there was the first successful face transplant, but it was the
when
same
the movie came out, that this is a great way for fucking Paramount,
it was supposedly
Touchstone Pictures, whatever the fuck they promote the movie. It's bullshit.
It was the person's face itself, so they had to remove the skin layer of the face and put it back on because it all smooshed up in a accident.
Sorry, I'm not laughing about the smushing up.
I think you are.
No, I wasn't. I'm laughing because I remember Steve pointing something out. Steve, hold on to that factoid so you can reorder in your head and distribute it to our listeners as gloriously as you want it to be distributed. As we're watching the movie, Steve goes, oh, the contour of the face being taken off is being drawn by hand, man.
Yeah.
And I hated the fact that Steve, who's sober, stone sober, as I'm having my first sip of the facetious whiskey I was drinking, pointing out something valuable here. And it fucking almost ruined the movie.
Yeah.
But not as much as what really ruined this movie. And I said I wasn't going to say anything, but I will.
Go ahead.
In the third act of this movie, my phone went bing. And I picked up my phone. And it's important to denote this to our listeners because I don't want us to sound disrespectful because it was a lot of laughter and bullshit. And if they are still listening, they need to know this. We are recording this on the eve of David Lynch passing. And this movie was the junk food you shouldn't have at a wake. Okay? And as soon as I read the fucking message, this movie went down the drain for me. The third act of this movie kind of died down.
Yeah.
But that's a different story. Steve, tell us.
Tell us about the face transplant.
Yeah, the one you brought up.
So one of the key elements to this is that
is that a key element? Is a key element? Tell me.
Face transplants had been done a year prior to this movie coming out. The first successful face transplant.
Ratings. It is ratings time.
Umba, would you like to go for this? Because I know you...
I always go last, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I rate Face Off. It's difficult, man. This is hard. This is very hard because I actually enjoyed this much more last time I watched it. However, it was kind of, it was marred. This viewing was marred by finding out about Lynch. I know we were going to talk about it, but it did kind of bring it down a notch for me. So
because we were having fun while
we were having
watching
fun,
it.
yeah. Until Ricky fucking texted. So I'm going to put Ricky on silent from now on. Because even Anne found out about Lynch passing. She didn't tell me. However, Ricky explained that he woke up in the morning and he felt, I feel a little tired. I feel a little middle-aged. How do I invigorate myself? Let me shit on a friend's day. And he texted me first. So, fair enough.
Us.
I would do the same. Yeah, us. So I would do the same to him. Yeah, so fair enough. I rate this a 7, dude. I have to. It's pretty high, but for what it is, it's an action flick, and it does that as well as it does. We did talk about how the discrepancy in resemblance between the fucking stuntman, that really took me out, dude. All the stunts, it's other people. It's fucking other people.
But
even
their stunts. And they're being
great
done
stunts.
practically.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And that's what the intention was. But the first time you watch them, it will hit. It will hit as fucking Bruce Willis finding out he's a fucking ghost and he has to go to work, kind of thing. But that's the first viewing, right? It hits that hard because it's the first viewing. And on the second, third, fourth, fifth viewing, whatever, it doesn't. Even Nicholas Cage acting over the top and John Travolta being concerned with, how his chin is portrayed in the dialogue of this movie, it's still very enjoyable. And a 7 is very high. And I think I'm being very generous today. Very generous, because otherwise it would have been below that. But it's a 7. And it's a 7 blue ketamine capsules. Or tranquilizer capsules. That's what this is for me.
Ricky?
So everyone knows that as I rate things, it's whether I'm going to watch it again. There's so much about this film that should make me score it below a 5, but it's Face Off, dude. I'm going to score it 7.8 out of 10 because I will watch Face Off again and again and again. There is nothing that can ever stop me from watching Face Off. I know it's terrible. I know the acting's way over the top. I know that none of the gun sounds seem to match the guns, even within the same scene. And none of the explosions are essential at all. Like the boat exploding 3 or 4 times and then being okay and then being on fire again. There's so much about this that really should make it below a 5, but I would watch Face Off till the end of the time. So 7.8 badly dressed stuntmen. Out of 10.
Awesome. Right. So I'm a 7.5. And it's a 7.5 golden guns firing at random doves. I mean, like, oh, what the hell?
Seagulls.
Oh, Seagulls. but for me, this is one of those. It's a dirty burger. You still want to have one, even if it's bad for you. It's great.
It's a cheese and onion pasty. Yeah.
Oh,
it's a Greg sausage roll for sure.
It's a Greg sausage roll.
Yeah.
Can I wait a second? Can I stop you for a second? I want to give a shout out to one of our listeners. And it's someone that I know is desperate to join us, and I can't blame him. This is George Crowther. Shout out goes to you. George is the type of person you guys would like as well. He's someone I met many years ago. He's a good acquaintance of mine, and he listens to the show. He enjoys it, and he's at the time of his life in which he doesn't get to talk about movies like we do, and I can't blame him, because that very need is the reason why we started this podcast.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to, talk for 2 hours about a movie. To some people, that's insane, because it is. But we, that's the point of this podcast. So whoever's listening to this, you need to know that we're not doing this for any other reason. And George, I know for a fact that if you were going to score this, your unit of measure for your score would be a pitch you could suck on all day long.
I almost said 7.8 daughters being licked on the face by their supposed dad.
Dude, we didn't even talk about the fucking, the switchblade? The switchblade being But then Chekhov's gun, dude. Chekhov's knives. Chekhov's switchblade. It hits later, right?
Literally hits and turn.
Yeah.
And on that note, this was Umba.
This is Ricky.
This is Steve.
Bye.
Bye. Jesus fucking Christ.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You gotta keep them separated. Separated. Hey! The man you disrespecting me. Take him out. You gotta keep them separated. Hey! Don't pay no mind. We're under 18 and we'll be doing anytime. Hey! Come out and play! By the time you hear the siren, it's already too late. One goes to the morgue and the other to jail. One guy's wasted and the other's a waste. It goes out of sight of 1,004. The lowest gas water, no one's running the store. You're never ending free of death and violence and hate. It's gonna tie your own rope, tie your own rope, tie your own. Hey! And you're disrespecting me. Take him out. You gotta keep them separated. Hey! Man, you're talking back to me. Take him out. You gotta keep them separated. Hey! Pay no mind. You're under 18. You won't be doing any time. Hey! Come out and play! It goes out the same as 1,000 before. The lowest gas water, no one's running the store. You're never
separated.